think we're streaming.
We're streaming, trusting in faith. We are streaming today, trusting the invisible, finding faith when the universe feels silent. That's New Thought Tuesdays. I'm Dean Regan with my partner, Mr. Richard Smith, here on New Thought Tuesday. So, folks, have you ever felt like the universe has just gone quiet and it's leaving you wondering if you're truly supported, if all of this faith stuff is truly even true? We're talking today about how these moments of silence can feel unsettling, but that they are also opportunities to deepen your faith and trust in the unforeseen forces working in your favor. They're not seen, but there is such a power. It's like the lyric, we can't see it, but it's everywhere present. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about renewing inner peace, empowering your trust, and connecting to the infinite, and relief from fear. And when I say we're going to be talking about it, I really mean I'm going to be talking about it, because Rich,
Hmm.
sorry, Rich, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Rich has got it.
I I was up with the flu all night. Well, here's the thing. My wife a couple of weeks ago got the flu shot, which is great, right? Then she got the flu, and then I caught it from her, and I didn't get the flu shot. So, who's to say whether that stuff really works or not? Maybe Kennedy is right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I don't
Yes.
know.
So when it comes to this having trust, there's on our bills it says in God we trust, and so that implies that in our governmental organization there's a sense of faith and trust. And so what we're talking about these days is when your universe seems to kind of go silent, and you're not exactly sure what and how to trust. And certainly this could go into the governmental structure, what your beliefs are about the folks that are in place to guide us, to do our democracy bidding. Or it could just be you in your family situation, in your work situation, where it's all of a sudden like, hey, I'm knocking on the door of faith, and I'm not really hearing a response. I've had an experience like that just recently, where there was an experience in our home that was an unwelcome adventure, and it brought up some fear for me. And I've noticed in that silence that we're talking about today, when I know that the universe is ever present, and I know that even in the unwelcome adventure quality of this experience, this is happening for me. And so I just ask myself, how is this happening for me? And what this particular experience recently did has pointed me more and more toward forgiveness and trust and faith. Because even when there was this sense of, wait, this isn't flowing, this isn't harmony, this isn't all kinds of things, I recognize that God is still present, absolutely always and completely present. And so with that, I need to take this information that I'm having fear about and reframe it with a sense of that spiritual practice of trust. And that's why this whole New Thought Tuesdays thing is so important in our spiritual practice, because we entertain these ideas, we study these ideas, we take these ideas in the quiet, so that when perhaps the universe feels like it's gone silent, we can know the truth. When without these practices, we might just get tipped over and blown in the wind. So that's one of the things, that this idea of the spiritual practice to allow our inner peace, which is oftentimes a sense of quiet, to be there to support us when we're calling out to the universe for harmony and maybe hearing music that's completely silent.
Yeah. When it appears that God is being silent, God is never silent.
Never.
It's always active, always expressing itself. It cannot not express itself. In my infinite filmmaker teachings, I always say the infinite filmmaker can't get a real job. It has to create in this movie called life, in our lives. Dean, here's the thing, and I was up all last night because I wasn't feeling well. My brain was going crazy because of the medications I was on for my cold. But yeah, but but
Oh,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. What is God to you? God to me is consciousness. It's that consciousness that I am a part of, my mind, the mind of the infinite's one mind. And so that's how it expresses itself through the consciousness of Christ, Christ consciousness. Christ was able to walk on water, heal the sick, feed the poor, whatever he wanted to do, he could do because of his consciousness. He believed that he was one with the Father. And I always have to keep going back to that thing. Things aren't working out right now. It seems like God is silent. God's not silent. This is an opportunity for me to connect deeper and deeper with God, with my consciousness, my subconscious mind, because my carnal mind will always complain and I'll get more of the stuff I complain about. The subconscious mind, that through meditation, you go in and through meditation, you be still, listen to that still small voice within. Could come as a little feeling, an emotion, excitement, intuition. You have to go there and find that. And in New Thought Tuesdays, guys, we do a lot of different practices. We do prayer treatments where we connect with the divine through the words that we speak. We do affirmations. We do visioning, where I go in and I ask, God, what is the next step for me? Everything seems to come to a standstill. That silent voice. I was thinking about it, Dean. The movie A Quiet Place,
yeah.
where you have these aliens attacking the country. Okay. And yeah, and they couldn't see, but they could hear. And so they'd go after sounds, and you had to be really quiet. The whole movie, there was no talking in it. It was silent. Of course, it had music and stuff like that. But that made me think of the silence that's going on. Okay, God, where are you? Why aren't you talking to me right now? I'm kind of lost. You built me up to this point. You gave me the funding for my film. I got the actors. Everything's flowing in place. And then all of a sudden you stop. What the hell? What are you doing? You can't just stop on me. But is that me stopping it? It's me stopping it because it's maybe it was in my conscious fear. Maybe I feared something and I just let go. Maybe I didn't have faith to move forward, you know? So, anyways, to me, that's what it's all about. Connecting with God through the subconscious mind, through your mind, through the thoughts that you have and the words that you speak. And that's why we do these different practices on New Thought Tuesday. So join us.
Come and join us. Oh, speaking of joining us, if you want to join us here, you can go to newthoughttuesdays.com and you can click on a link to get reminded. You'll get a couple of gentle email reminders about our Tuesdays. And if you like to join our inner circle, you can also click on a link there to speak with Rich about the possibility of you joining the inner circle. And that's where we meet off the record with folks to talk through these principles, to take these principles more specific and even deeper. So we, after these live streaming remarks, we go into the inner circle and we have a wonderful, thank God, conversation that I always look forward to, and I am constantly growing and constantly feeling more harmony with each and every week. But you were talking there, Mr. Smith, about that idea of fear, and oftentimes when the very thought of having the faith that there is an infinite filmmaker or a musical composer that is just music that is everywhere present. And then it's like, well, why am I not hearing the music? Well, the music may well still be present. You may not be able to hear it, or there may be a gap in the music to allow you to understand it, express that contrast between one experience that you've had and another. But the overall concept of music doesn't disappear. Music is still absolutely possible 24/7, 365, the whole 9 yards of your life before and after.
I have to disagree. It never stops. It's like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a noise?
Make a noise.
So there's sound always, there's music always, there's beauty always, there's harmony, there's the movie of your life expanding greater and greater and greater of who you are as a unique individualized expression of the infinite, and you're growing. And maybe part of the growing is just stopping and going within. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I started a coalition. Okay. And I've been in a lot of not pain, but a lot of like concern because the music stopped, the movie stopped, the infinite filmmaker wasn't there. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm moving through life and I'm not really feeling like I'm being called towards something. I'm just taking action. I'm doing New Thought Tuesdays. I'm posting on Facebook and Instagram and it just didn't feel right. And then all of a sudden, through prayer and meditation, I got the word, and it took this political situation that's going on that I feel really strongly about to be able to work with creatives in the entertainment business and not fight because you pick up the sword, you die by the sword, not fight anything, but how are we going to deal with what's going on? What are the spiritual principles that we can use to be able to deal with the fear, the doubt, the worry, the concern, the anger, the resentment, all of these things that you're feeling. How do you transform that resentment into the opposite of resentment? How do you take the fear and anger and turn it into love? And so, um, to me, that was that the music stopped and the filmmaker stopped directing the movie because it had something bigger in the plan for me, bigger than I could even imagine. Who would have ever thought that I would be wanting to go to this level of getting out there and expressing my spiritual, principles and talking about them in the way that I've been,
Yes.
you know? So it's some as creatives in the entertainment business, these are my guys that I work with. You may be just you got to be able to stop, maybe let go, let God. Stop what you're doing because when you open up to God's vision for your life, it's amazing. And it's bigger, much bigger than you could even imagine in your own life. So here you are trying to make something happen, and the music stops or the movie stops. The infinite filmmaker seems like it's not there, but it is. It's prepping you for the next step in how it wants to use you as a unique, individualized creation of itself. Anyways, that's what I was thinking about all night last night. I didn't sleep. I'm
It was a
coughing
good
my
night. You were
brains
not
out.
feeling well, but you had a good night of, it sounds like a good night of thoughts there.
Yeah, I feel like it's all coming together for me that, you
That
know,
all coming
infinite
together
calling.
thing, you keep pulling onto that idea of God or spirit or universe or whatever. And that's one of the key things when the good news about, okay, the universe has gone silent to me implies that you are listening to a voice greater than your own, that is inclusive of your own. There is a voice, there is music in your experience, there's expression in your experience. And all of a sudden you're saying, hey, this isn't going the way I think it is. The universe has gone silent on me. What we're encouraging you to do is go back into your place of quiet and be with the silence.
Yeah.
And if there is a sense of discord, if there's a sense of fear, doubt, or worry, look toward that idea of forgiveness. Focus on the idea of where can you forgive. For instance, in the story I was telling earlier, there were two people that I could easily forgive, and I was one of them. So I focusing on self-forgiveness. I've been focusing on the forgiveness of the unwelcome adventure and how it came into my home's experience. And this is that's the first place. And from that place of authentic forgiveness, I've gone to more of a place of courage, of contentment, of harmony. And that's how I'm using my spiritual practice to renew that inner peace and to look at that sense of trust that my life is unfolding in absolute power and glory. Just like what you were saying, Rich, you were talking about your life is unfolding and you're looking for it to unfold, and it's unfolding even greater than you could have imagined. And that's empowering that sense of trust that there's something amazing going on here, even if it doesn't feel like it. And it's
Yeah.
it that connection, having the connection to, as you were saying, the infinite or the infinite filmmaker, having that connection to the music of your life. You have to have a sense of what that means to you. And when we talk about the infinite filmmaker or the infinite music, that music of creativity that is ever present, that creativity that is ever present and infinite, in my experience, that's where I go back to my connection, and it helps to relieve me from fear, allow me to forgive, to trust, and to release my desire for control.
Yeah. Trust. I like that. Yeah.
Because
So you have to sit there and go. You can also just ask yourself, what music am I listening to? You know?
well,
Um,
and when you talk about the silence of the universe, silence is used all kinds of times in music. I have something that, when there's an orchestra on stage and the conductor has what is called a GP, a grand pause, they stop as long as they want. And the way I picture it is they stop until all of the vibrations on all of the stage come to a conclusion. And that silence, there's still music present in the silence.
yeah.
It's not unfolding as oboes and trumpets and trombones and timpani and woodwinds. It is, but that music, that idea of music is still present even in that grand pause. And
Yeah.
so for living in concert with life, I have something I work with my clients on is to take a grand pause once a month, take 3 to 4 hours where you're absolutely not doing anything and not being involved in electronic media unless it's some kind of music that you listen to, and just being with yourself and allowing that to be enough. When the music perhaps of your universe seems to go silent, the key is to allow it to be enough and allow yourself to be perfect in this very moment.
You're talking about the music, taking that pause, and sometimes even in a movie, the sound will not be there. There was this movie I was watching once about a deaf guy, and when they cut to him, and there was no sound, and you could get the feeling, you felt what he was feeling without any sound. And so
Yeah.
sometimes in a movie, in your movie called life, you have to take the music away, a pause. You have to take the sound away from the movie, or
Yeah.
cut to another scene.
Yeah.
Um, you have to switch things up and allow it to be switched up in a way that will benefit you and for the highest good of all involved. Because that's something too a lot of people don't think about. The highest good for all involved. It's not me, me, me. So what is the highest good for everybody in this
It's not me,
situation?
me, me, me. It is the great I am.
Sounds like music. Me, me, me.
Me, 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 me. It is the great I am ever expressing itself. Okay, so it's about we've been doing this for about 20 minutes talking to you guys. It's so good to have you here. Hey, if you're still with us online, thanks for streaming this long. On in social media these days, to stream this long is like it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Thank you guys for being here. We're about to go into the inner circle, which means we're going to turn off the live stream and we're going to go into our private conversation with our folks here on New Thought Tuesdays in the inner circle. And thank you for being here. Now,
Yes.
speaking of which,
Go ahead.
being here, we will not be here next week.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to take Christmas Eve off. So we will see you after that. Keep posted. If you'd like to be part of the New Thought Tuesdays, feel free to go to www.newthoughttuesdays.com and click on I'd like to be involved, and you'll see a little thing you can click on to get reminded, and we'll send you gentle reminders.
And also,
Yes.
a little secret, don't tell anybody. We won't tell anybody, but we've got a big secret coming up for the coming year. Really excited about it. We are going international. But
Hey, we're
we're
already international. We're just going to go even more international.
bigger, bigger,
We
better,
have,
greater.
we
We're
have
going to
our
reach more people.
remember we have our India connection.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We will. So we are going into the inner circle, and we will talk with you later. Thanks for being here.
I'm going back to bed.
Bye.
Take care.